Hey y'all, how we doing? Patrick here with Vetted. Thank you guys so much for joining. I have an exciting video. This is the kind of stuff I think we should be following. So let's just jump right in, y'all. The Galileo Project is investigating an event in New England on Friday, October 20th, okay? Between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? Do you have an outdoor security camera with audio that was running in this window of time? If so, we would be grateful to receive your footage. Upload video at, and then they put a link. So that's a tweet out from the Galileo Project. Apparently something happened, okay, in New England on Friday, October 20th between 7:30 and 8 p.m. on, Eastern Time. All right, in the U.S., which is very interesting, right? So I don't think I've seen a tweet like this from them. So, and again, I'll put links to all of this, right? They put a link. You can upload your footage. Follow that link. You can upload the footage. So I think I potentially found something close to it. So Reddit had on a subreddit called Maine, right, for the state of Texas, they had this go out, Mountain Washington Observatory. All right, so then I went to, I'll read that here in a second. I went to their Facebook, all right, and they have this post from October 20th at 7:57 p.m., all right? So right in that window of time, it says, "We have no idea, Northern New Hampshire, and especially Whitefield, we have no idea what shook your houses, rattled your windows, and made your cats very angry. So far, it does not sound like an earthquake. At this point, we need to think it's related to a sonic boom. But honestly, without more info, we know just as much as you do. Nimbus was asleep, which figures. I don't know what that means. Could be a cat." A lot of comments. And this person, okay, one of the top fans here, put, "I'm in Whitefield at 7:43 p.m., all right in that window of time, 7:30 to 8. I heard what sounded like someone pounding down my front door. Only lasted about 10 seconds, but it was terrifying." Dalton, New Hampshire, heard and felt it. Was a while ago, though. I figured it was thunder with the current weather. Heard it here in Bethlehem. So, very interesting. Just a long, loud rumbling sound here. So, this person says, "I did some research, said meteorologists feel that it was a meteor you all heard that sailed over New Hampshire, causing loud blasts that rattled eardrums and shook the earth across the state." So someone else had mentioned that on the Reddit as well. And there was a particular, so you can go to this, it's called the International Meteor Organization. And you can go down and see, but look, there's nothing on the 20th. Okay? Nothing on the 20th. So that's interesting, right? It goes from the 19th to the 21st, which is funny because every day has something. Every single day except that day. That's weird. I'm just saying. That is strange. Literally every day, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, nothing on the 20th. Omitted. 21st, 22nd, 23rd, right? If you go down, it's every single day except for that day, right? This puts it from all over the world, y'all. But nothing on that day. So, no meteor on that day. So, this is interesting, right? So, what is the Galileo Project, for those of you that don't know, right? You may be wondering, well, who is this? What is the Galileo Project? I've covered it on the podcast. I've actually had the person that started the whole thing, Obby Lob, and interviewed him about it. Also interviewed Nick Pope about it because he's on the panel of it. So we're going to take a look at some videos from Obby Lob, from our interview with Obby Lob and our interview with Nick Pope talking about the Galileo Project. I'm also going to put a link to their website, okay? Because Obby is at Harvard, and it's through Harvard University, and their website is on there. It's a project. So, again, right here, look. The goal of the Galileo Project, is to bring the search for extraterrestrial technological signatures of extraterrestrial technological civilizations from accidental or anecdotal observations and legends to the mainstream of transparent, validated, and systematic scientific research. This project is complementary to traditional SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence, right? In that it searches for physical objects and not electromagnetic signals associated with extraterrestrial technological equipment. So, yes, let's take a look at, I'm first going to show you a video on who Obby Lob is, all right? So you can get to know who that is in case you don't already know. Let's jump in. If you don't know who Obby Lob is by now, Again, this is my video that I made. I'll put a link to it. It's a vetted video that we released early on, July 24th, right here. July 24th, that's when it premiered. Fill you in.
All the way from Harvard University. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our guest tonight, Dr. Obby Lob.
A team of researchers, including Harvard astronomer Obby Lob,
renowned astrophysicist Obby Lob.
Professor Lob is a Frank B. Baird Jr. Professor of Science at Harvard University. He has authored 8 books and over 800 scientific papers.
May have just found a trace of an interstellar object in the ocean.
Lob's audacious theory sends shockwaves through the scientific community.
Professor Lob, he is a Harvard professor and head of the Galileo Project, has just come back from a trip that he says has advanced our understanding.
He posits that this interstellar interloper may, in fact, be a clandestine emissary from a distant civilization.
You know, if we believe that we are alone and special and unique, that shows arrogance.
Obby Lob became well known when he first identified Oumuamua, an interstellar meteor, as being not a meteor. He first posited that it could potentially be an extraterrestrial object, our first extraterrestrial object that we've identified. The reason he gave? Its trajectory. Apparently, it had taken a different course than what was expected of a standard comet. There was the predicted expected trajectory, and then the actual trajectory of Oumuamua. And that difference is what made Obby think something could be up. Now here's the first part of our interview with Obby Lob. Have you personally... So again, I'll put a link to this, and I have an uncut interview, or an uncut version of this interview with Obby Lob. I'll put links to both so you guys can check them out. Great video, guys. I want to do more stuff like this. It's edited. That's how we started. A lot more produced stuff with my interviews. So again, I'll put links to that so you can check it out. Well worth watching. It's got a lot of stuff in it. All right, let's get to Nick Pope talking about the Galileo Project as well. Actually, here, this is, I ask, you'll get the idea. This is still Obby Lob here. With the Galileo Project, the question I had was, let's say you get some evidence. Is there any way that could be like the U.S. government could come in and take it from you or take control of your project? Is that a fear, or could that ever happen?
No, our approach is to put our observatories in places that are not of strategic importance, and therefore not a matter of national security. It's because the task of the Galileo Project is purely scientific. We don't care about any human-made object. So if it says made in China and the US government wants to shoot it down if it's a balloon, that's, as far as I'm concerned, good news, because they reduce the number of objects in the sky, which will make us, explore the other objects more efficiently. What we are doing scientifically is complementary to the national security concerns of the intelligence agencies in the US, and I don't see any overlap. In other words, what they care about is very boring for me. Okay,
Sure.
I don't care about anything made by humans. I don't care about any natural objects like birds. I would gladly offer the data to a zoologist. It's of no interest to me if we see birds.
So that's interesting. Again, I'll put a link to the full thing. Here's Nick Pope talking about the Galileo Project. Now let's have another conversation with Nick Pope about Obby Lob, the Harvard astronomer who started the Galileo Project to study UAPs privately, away from the U.S. government. I heard and read that you're involved in the Galileo Project that's been started by Obby Lob, who we're actually having on as well. I'm speaking to him next week. What is that? What's the main goal, and how are you involved?
Well, I should say I'm not a scientist or an astronomer, but Avi Loeb has brought in to his Galileo project a number of people who, non-scientists, but people with some relevant background and knowledge that might help the wider Galileo project aims. And we are research affiliates. So our role is just advisory, and it's to advise Avi and his science team on anything where he feels that he would benefit from some advice. And I mean, I'll let Avi unpack the different strands of what Galileo Project is actually doing, but it falls into a number of categories, including looking at new UAP data that will be gathered, but also looking at, obviously, Avi, was already very well known, but came to even wider international fame because of his views on Oumuamua, and the idea that there might be these interstellar objects, and frankly, we don't know what they are. And of course, Avi's point is, well, that's what science is. You have a question, you put a hypothesis forward, and then you try and test it, and you test it by designing experiments and gathering data. So Avi is doing a lot of that. I know he's got an expedition coming up to try and recover fragments from another interstellar object of some kind. He's written a number of papers about this. As I say, I don't want to encroach on his territory, but I think you'll have a fascinating conversation with him. I mean, he's truly one of the great visionary thinkers of our time. Although he's in the forefront of it, I think he's beginning to bring a lot of other people in the scientific community round to his way of thinking, that for far too long, scientific community was very dismissive of this, whereas Avi's point is simply should take a data-led approach. So yeah, I'm honored and proud to be a very small part of the Galileo Project, and I know that a number of other non-scientists, but people with relevant perhaps backgrounds, people like Chris Mellon and Lou Elizondo, are also in this research role. So it's exciting times, and I think you'll have an illuminating conversation with Avi about all this.
So yeah, again, I'll put links to all of this so you guys can check it out yourself. What do you guys think? This to me is fascinating. The Papua New Guinea stuff, Avi came back with fragments. They're still studying them, and yeah, there's definitely a high chance that is like the very first sort of interstellar object we've checked, and he's trying to find out if it's was built or formed naturally, right? He found all these sphericals, and you can look into that. We've made several videos on it. So anyway, yeah, very exciting. We'll see what happens with this event that they're, trying to find out, right, what happened. But it looks like this Mount Washington Observatory may have, be onto it. So we'll see what it is, and we'll keep you guys up to date if we find any information about this. I wonder how many videos they're going to get, right? It's going to be insane. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's Patrick with Vetted. Hit that like button and comment down below what you think about this Galileo Project. Is this how we should be looking into stuff? I personally think so. This is great. Scientific-led approach, physical evidence. Let's get all these videos, comb through the data, maybe find an answer for whatever this thing that happened, right? This event. So anyway, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Put out a video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, remember, every day's a gift. I'm Patrick with Vetted. We'll see y'all tomorrow.